Now let's discuss troubleshooting of network issues on Linux. So, and there can be complicated tasks, but there are some steps you can take to diagnose and resolve common problems. Shooting network issues on Linux. So one of the things that you could do, or I could give you some tips that I've learned, that I'm still learning, are checking network configuration, verifying that the network configuration is correct, including the IP address, netmask, gateway, DNS settings. You could do that by opening your CMD and including or writing ifconfig command. So as Google states, ifconfig command to assign an address to network configuration and to configure or display the current network interface configuration information. So what does that mean? It just provide checks the settings. And another thing that you could run on your command is terminal is IP. So with the IP, you're able to include write what simple command or simple command human readable form and write address a pipe route, which gives you the address route that's connected. Routes here. The IP route command manages static routes and route table issue command for each static resources to the routing table. So those three commands that you could utilize to figure out the check the statuses or check the network configuration. Another tip is checking network connectivity, and you're able to do that checking network connectivity by running ping command to test the network connectivity to other hosts on the network. So one of the examples that you could ping is Google. So we're able to check the connectivity by pinging 8.8.8.8, which will test the connectivity to Google DNS server. And you could run that in your terminal CMD. So another tip is checking firewall settings. Firewall settings. And how to do that on Linux. Now, as you could see, so verified firmware settings are not blocking network traffics. And you're able to use the command iptables to view and modify firewall rules. Or as recommended by Google, the process to list rules on Linux is as follows. Open the terminal, run the command ssh user at server name to list IP4 rules, list IP6 rules, to list all tables, sudo iptable. And list VN. Okay. And this is how it would look. . iptables. Another example for troubleshooting network issues on the Linux is checking for network hardware issues. So by verifying the network cables are connected properly, plugged in properly, or the network interface are functioning correctly, you can use the command called dmesh or sg, and that is display kernel related messages related from the kernel ring buffer. That will tell you if the system messages related to the network hardware. If there's any, issues between the network. Another tip, checking network logs. So network logs. So that helps you view network logs to identify any issues that may be causing the problem. The system logs are stored in the root of varlog directory, or as this is how it goes, root var log directory, and can be viewed using the tail command, which brings out the last things that were happening within the log tail. So that's another option. So last option, the last basic option is using network debugger tool. So there are several network debugger tools. For example, there are in Linux, there are a lot of tools like TCP dump, Wireshark, and Netstate. And these are the tools that can be used to capture network traffic, analyze network packages, and monitor network connections. So debugging it, TCP dump, as the Google state, is a command line utility that allows you to capture and analyze network traffic going through your system. That's one way of debugging. Or there's another tool that's available that's called Wireshark. And so as you could see, a Wireshark is an open source network protocol that analyzes and helps us to see what is happening inside the network. And the last thing that I remember is Netstate. So this command lets you discover which sockets are connected and which sockets are listening, meaning it tells you which ports are in use. As you can see, network troubleshooting and configuration that can also serve as a monitoring tool for connecting over networks. So as mentioned, checking network configuration, checking network connectivity, checking the DNS issues, checking the firewall settings, the network hardware issues, the network logs, and debugging tools. So those are just a few of the steps you can take to troubleshoot network issues on Linux by following these steps. And hopefully that will give like a easy diagnostic or resolve some networks that you may have.